When I sat down to film this video, I had my notes in front of me, I had a plan, I thought I knew what I was going to say. That was until I realized I have a shirt and jacket issue. And no, the combination does work. Although the shirt pattern may be a bit bold for some, notice I kept the jacket color and pocket square simple, classic, and muted. The actual issue was something tiny. Something which, to be honest, probably 99.9% of you guys wouldn't even have picked up on. However, me being a bit of a perfectionist, I noticed and it bothered me. Although, obviously, not enough for me to change my outfit. So, have you figured it out? Do you see the mistake? Well, here it is in all its glory. Now, if you still don't know what it is, don't worry, it's an obscure style rule. The rule is when you wear a dress shirt under a sports jacket, suit jacket, blazer, you should have with your arms down about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of sleeve showing. Now this rule can be bent, it's all about proportions. So if you're 6'4", showing 1 inch to 1 1/4 inches, perfectly fine. If you're 5'2", showing 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch is perfect. Me, I'm pushing a good 1.5 to 2 inches here. Now the reason why is this shirt is an off-the-rack shirt with a little bit longer sleeves, and this jacket is a custom piece whose sleeves are cut a little bit shorter. So this combination is just simply a mismatch of cuts, which at this point you're maybe wondering, Antonio, why does this even matter? Because it takes me to the first sign of why you're more stylish than you think. And that is you pay attention to the details. You see, a lot of guys out there don't think they're stylish because they don't have a whole lot of money. They don't own a whole lot of fancy clothing. They don't have an expensive watch. They didn't grow up with a stylish father or an uncle that could teach them the basics. In fact, maybe some of you guys have just started your style journey. And so in your mind, because of these things you don't own, you don't necessarily see yourself as a stylish guy. But here's the deal, gents, a secret that the fashion houses don't want you to know. And that is that timeless style has very little to do with money. Instead, it has to do with mindset. And in this case, you striving for perfection. Again, using me as an example, let's take the sleeves right here. I'm gonna take this shirt to get it adjusted. I'm gonna probably shorten those sleeves about 3/4 to 1 inch. And so the next time I wear this shirt, it's gonna fit perfectly. You know, I bet a lot of you guys just getting started have that type of mentality. You're starting to notice the small mistakes that you're already making. So you're making these incremental improvements. And that, gentlemen, is what's gonna make you the best dressed man in the room. You see, a 1% improvement doesn't sound like much. Well, over the period of a year, that 1% increase compounds to you being 37 times more stylish than you were at the beginning of the year. Seriously, those small improvements over time make a big difference. Now, if you're watching this video and thinking, Antonio, all that sounds great, but man, I'm losing my hair. If that's you, hey, I hear you. The reality is for most guys, their hair is a big part of their style. If you're starting to lose your hair, you need to check out today's sponsor, Keeps. I've been talking about Keeps for years because I love what these guys do. Keeps is an online subscription service that makes it easy and affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness. And they can do this all from the comfort of their own home. With Keeps, you get clinically proven treatments that address hair loss and boost hair regrowth. All of this delivered right to your door in discreet packaging. Now to get started, gents, you just go to keeps.com/RMRS. And once you're there, you're gonna complete an online consultation. And the treatment plan is personalized to meet your unique needs and recommended by a licensed medical professional. And in case you're wondering, Keeps has helped almost 1 million men keep their hair. And if you go over to their website, they've got over 4,500 5-star reviews. So remember, gents, hair loss stops with Keeps. To get started, go to keeps.com/RMRS. And as always, gents, when you use our special link, you're going to get the best deal on the web. So again, keeps.com/RMRS. Now, this next sign that you're more stylish than you think was actually brought to my attention the other day at Starbucks. You see, a couple of months ago, we started Nutcracker season. For any ballet dads out there, and yes, I have 3 daughters in ballet, that means that we are taking them to the studio sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. I'm traveling a lot. Yeah, my official job title in the fall, taxi driver. In any case, I've usually got 2 hours to kill in the early afternoon, so I take my computer and I go work out of Starbucks. Well, I ended up going to the same location for a few weeks, pretty much every day, because it's newly built, it's got nice seating, I like the lighting, it just simply is a nice place to work. Well, like with anything that you do regularly, you start to get casual acquaintances. So I started to recognize all the employees, they started recognizing me. I even started noticing a few other patrons that I kept seeing again and again. So where am I going with this? Here it is. After about 3 weeks, I have one of the baristas straight up ask me, so I'm curious, what do you do for a living? She told me she was guessing I was a doctor, but that some of the other women in the back were guessing I was an attorney. In any case, I developed a reputation as the well-dressed man who comes in the afternoon and always smells good. My point here, if you've got a positive reputation with casual acquaintances, you are probably more stylish than you think. Because here's the deal, most of us pass by people and don't even notice them. And that's despite the fact that many of those people you've probably seen before. The thing is, as human beings, we don't notice things unless they catch our eye. Usually this is because they either threaten threaten us or we are attracted to them. And of course, it's not always sexual attraction. Sometimes it's just like, hey, that guy is in shape. That person smells really good. Or wow, that's a good looking outfit. Those are nice shoes. But the key here is that you are noticed and you are remembered. I know for a lot of guys, your style, your image isn't exactly where you want it to be yet. But here's the deal. To get the benefits from dressing well, you don't have to be perfect. It's kind of like that story about getting chased by the bear. You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to outrun the person next to you. The same thing. If you are dressing better than those around you, you are going to stand out. You are going to stand apart and you are going to be noticed. And being noticed is important in this world because when you're noticed, you're seen. And when you're seen, especially consistently, all of a sudden you are remembered. And that leads to people starting to trust you, to be able to start conversations with you, which can lead to huge opportunities. Now, at this point, I'm sure there's a few of you guys out there like, Antonio, I've heard all this before, and congratulations, that is the next point I want to hit on. Recognizing familiar advice. You see, human beings, we're not robots. We don't take an input and immediately act on it. Oftentimes, we have to hear something again and again before we decide to take action. And even then, as many of you guys in a relationship know, somebody can say something to you multiple times, but if you're not in the mood to hear it, I didn't hear that you wanted me to do that, honey. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I always tell my wife, if you really want me to do something, you could write it down, maybe go in detail of when you want it done, how important this is to you. I mean, she just doesn't want to do those things. But seriously, gents, you are probably more stylish than you think if you are recognizing a lot of the style tips. You're like, I've heard this before. The next action, though, is have you implemented? Have you taken action on this? Because you can hear something, you can write it down, you can say you're going to do it, but until you do it, you're not going to reap the rewards. Remember that one quiet action is worth more than 1,000 loud words. So if all my YouTube videos are sounding redundant, I think it's time for you to actually start taking action and maybe even look for this next tip to start teaching others. And yes, that is the next sign you're more stylish than you think. People are seeking you out for advice. And I'm not talking about a formal relationship where people are looking to pay you money. I'm talking about where you're at church and you have somebody mention, you know what, you should really talk to my son about dressing well. He could learn a thing or two from you. Maybe you're at school, that girl in your study group, she's saying, man, I wish my boyfriend dressed better like you do. Maybe you've got a nephew, your sister's son, that needs some guidance. No man has ever shown this guy how to tie a necktie. My point is, if you're in a position to be able to help another man improve his style, you should jump on this. Because one of the things when you become a teacher, you really have to learn the subject matter much better. You have to understand it backwards and forwards to be able to teach it to another person. I mean, for any of you guys that are Star Wars fans, you know that to go from Padawan to knight, you've got to go through a trial. But to go from knight to master, you've got to actually train a Padawan. Teaching others forces the instructor to slow down, to really understand what is being said, and to look at it from the perspective of somebody just starting off. And that right there, gentlemen, will take your style to the next level. Now, the reality is most men are proud. We don't want to ask somebody for style help. Hell, we don't even want to ask for directions. I mean, that's a running joke, right? But seriously, even if someone doesn't ask you for help, look around. Are people actually following your lead? I had a gentleman write me years ago how he started dressing up for church, and all of a sudden he realized another guy started wearing a suit. Next thing you know, there are 5 to 10 men wearing suits. And then all of a sudden, half the congregation started dressing better. Now, does that make them better people? Of course not. But I'd like to think it accentuates the goodness that was already there. And perhaps it created a better ambiance. It just made them all look better in pictures. And speaking of photos, you start to notice that you are one of the best dressed men in most of the pictures that you are captured in. Which again, you're not looking to put down others. You just start to notice, hey, me wearing this sports jacket around, me actually taking care of my hair, my grooming, wearing that collared shirt. Yeah, compared to everyone else that's wearing their pajamas at that family reunion, you looked good. You looked like the leader. You looked like the man in charge. Which is nice because since you lost your father, you've been trying to step up and to see yourself. In fact, your mother commented, wow, I see your dad in you. All of a sudden, this gave you this moment of pride that you are finally stepping up to become that man you know yourself to be. So this next sign you're more stylish than you think is something maybe a year ago you dreaded. Actually is, I don't know what to wear to this event. But all of a sudden, maybe you don't have the clothing. You realize, I gotta go get a shirt. I gotta go get some new shoes. But you actually understand how you should dress for certain events. Again, being stylish isn't necessarily about having a lot of money, a lot of clothing, but it's actually the knowledge you start to build up, the experience when you start to wear nicer clothing that you realize, okay, I can put this outfit together, I can dress up because we want it to look good for that wedding, or we can dress down. It's going to be something at the beach. Still, I want to look good, so I'm going to wear a collared shirt, but I'm going to go with a linen shirt. I'm going to go with, a pair of nice trousers that are made from a tropical weight wool versus a pair of shorts. Even if you realize you don't own these items, hey, I got 6 months till we're traveling out to Puerto Rico, out to Hawaii for that event, and I'm going to look good. You can start to piece it together. You can start to go to thrift stores. You know what you're looking for, and you know how to put these outfits together. Guys, that is a sign you're much more stylish than you think you are. The next sign you're more stylish than you think, you actually feel confident dressing well. In fact, you get dressed, you look good. Your wife says, oh, you look really good. Maybe you're a bit overdressed. You don't care. You know why? Because you know who you are. You know what you stand for. I could be a little bit overdressed, but I am going to show respect. This is my uniform. This is my look. You are confident. You're not arrogant. You're not looking to show off. You just simply know who you are, what you stand for, and how you want to represent your family. In fact, you respond back to your girlfriend, honey, I'm dressing up for you because you are worth it, and I want you to be seen with a good-looking man. Now you're smiling, you're joking, but you're still serious because you're dressing up for you. You know who you are, you know what you stand for, and you know what you want to get out of this life. Now, gents, if you enjoyed today's video, you are going to love this video. Boom, right here. Seriously, check it out. Solid video. And yeah, explore Real Men, Real Style. I got so many great tools for you. And yeah, you'll enjoy it. Stick right here on the channel. Come on, what are you still watching this for? Click right here. Go check out this other video.